Hey guys, welcome back to Gear 4. Today we're taking a look at the Loop Gear LoopDot, a fun and interesting little tie that makes you question what it really is. First of all, thank you to Loop Gear for sending this along. I've been enjoying this for quite some time, wrestling with it, trying to compose my thoughts for this video. They provided this product, however, they did not provide any monetary compensation, nor did they have any input into the outcome of this review or any early access to it. This is solely my thoughts based on handling the product, and I do try to take that free product into consideration, so to remove some bias. Now let's go ahead and jump in. First of all, let's address what you get with this guy. It does come with a USB-C cable. It also comes with a snappy little embossed microfiber cloth, which you shall see for why. And it also comes with a separately boxed accessory that we will get into shortly. In terms of the size comparison, let's go ahead and get our channel staples of a 91 and a 58 millimeters for Salmonif. So you can see this is much more classic territory, although it is almost exactly the same, with maybe a little shorter than the classic. Some flashlight relevant comparisons of a double and triple A. This isn't cylindrical, but we will do our best for that girth comparison. And some comparison points that might be more relevant to the genre this somewhat occupies: the original O-Clip and the O-Clip Pro. In terms of a design overview, we have a flat metal back, USB-C port on the bottom. Our switch is on top and fairly well blends into the body. We have a nice clicky rotary bezel that is both directions. Inside we have actually two sets of emitters. We have an outer iris here, which is warmer, and a more throwy, cooler white in the middle. And then the whole hubbub shabab, we have a pixel screen here. So let's go ahead and jump into the brightness and runtimes and then the UI of the Loop Gear LoopDot. As always, feel free to pause and read along if you would rather. The Spotlight has a moonlight of 0.1 lumen for 75 hours, a low of 1 lumen for 23 hours, and a high of 150 lumens for 1.6 hours. The turbo is 400 lumens for 30 seconds before dropping down to that 150 lumens for an hour and a half. Now, as you can see, we have quite a sharp jump here. That's because we don't have set modes. It's actually more of a, a ramping effect using the bezel. The floodlight has a moonlight again of 0.1 for 75 hours, a 1 lumen of 23, a high of 100 lumens for 1.6, and a turbo of 270 lumens for 30 seconds, stepping down to 100 lumens for a further 1.5 hours. So effectively identical apart from the lower lumen turbo on the floodlight. Now the UI on this guy is where it gets very complicated. You can effectively consider this to have several different modes, and the flashlight portion of it is actually only one distinct mode. So we'll go through the flashlight portion first, and then we'll tackle other things. Now, if the flashlight mode is not already selected, then when you turn it on, you will be met with this selection that you navigate by rotating the bezel. This icon is the flashlight icon, and as you can see, we do have our low brightness on here. So to increase the brightness, you just rotate the bezel in the direction you want to go. You can go all the way up and then all the way down. For turbo in both modes is just a double click. And that is a turbo utilizing only the single emitter, not both, so you don't get any color distortion. To change to the other emitter, there's two ways of doing it. One is to long press. Turn that so you can see. And you can see we have the cooler, spottier foot thrower. There is another option, which is a little awkward to do on camera, but there is a motion sensor in this guy, and effectively you just go like this to change it. So I'm going to try and do this on the camera. Okay. This is not going well. There we go. You get the general idea. You sharply just move it in that kind of general motion and it switches. And when it does that, there is actually a buzz of haptic feedback. It does work. That does happen. It is a way that you can change modes. It is much more reliable to simply just long press. There is a moonlight mode, which you activate from off by simply long pressing for less than 2 seconds. And then you can step back up as you want to. Now, the brightnesses are memorized shared. So let's say you have the spotlight on and you crank that up and you change over to the flood, it's also going to be cranked up. You can't memorize 2 different brightness levels. And if you want strobe warming, that is going to be a triple click. Now, onto the rather confusing portion of this. So we are in flashlight mode right now, so that means from off, when we turn this on, we're going to be presented with the flashlight. To get back into mode selection, that is a 4 press. And you get presented with this screen again. As again, this is flashlight as an icon. And then as we go through, this is play mode. This is settings. This is to lock the flashlight. And then it just loops around. So we'll go through lock first. When locked and you try and turn it on, you're faced with this. You then have to rotate the dial in either direction, and then you'll be able to access it again. To lock the flashlight when it's in flashlight mode, you just press and hold and it'll lock. You don't need to go through that setting change. Now, the settings themselves allow you to change everything from the screen brightness, vibration settings, all that good stuff, how long it's on for. And to just come out, you just long press, go back in, and then you're back in the selection. So we want to go to the, I'm turning it the other way I'm used to the play mode. Play mode is effectively a series of games and we'll say utilities as a generous way to put that. So as you can see, we have a whole bunch of different icons here, right? So this is a dice. When you have it on, you can do that and you get a dice roll. So we rolled a 2. Obviously this is a d6 and you can just roll. When you roll, you get haptic feedback. I'm not going to go through all of these modes just because there is a lot of them. So let's go back. This is, so the smiley face is basically display mode. So there is a bunch of different display icons that you can choose from, and then you can also customize them. So let's go with this matrix one. I've customized this one to be green in color, although I'm not sure how well it comes out on camera. By turning it, you affect the animation speed, so we can ramp that up, ramp that down. And by using the button, we can change the color. And there's a whole bunch of these. So here is a fire animation. So we can change that. And is this one of those? Okay, yeah. So this is also, it has a motion sense in it. So when you have things like the water effect on it, you can actually tip the water. There is also a timer / counter. You can play rock, paper, scissors. There is a whole bevy of functions on this guy that you honestly mostly just go through and explore. However, there is a quite extensive user manual to get through as well. It is essential unless you want to have a good old play. But first of all, let's go ahead and jump into my pros, cons, and general thoughts on this. So this is extremely well made. I've had Loop Gear products on the channel before, and they are very premium in nature, both in price tag and build quality. This is a very well made piece of kit, and it feels like it costs. It's a very well made thing. Even the pixel screen, I've seen other pixel things, I have other pixel things, And the screen is very good quality, very vibrant in its color, very easy to see, good brightness levels. The fact that this has motion sensors and a haptic motor inside while still being a flashlight with a decent sized battery is kind of crazy to me. There's a lot crammed into this. The rotation of the bezel itself is very satisfying. And the flashlights, hang on, let me get back into flashlight mode. There we go. First of all, look how cool that iris is. That is very, very nice to look at, very interesting. And it's an excellent quality flashlight. The quality of light you're getting here, the ability to dial in the brightness you want while still being able to rapidly get to turbo and moonlight mode. The versatility of having a flood and thrower, it's excellent as a flashlight in potential. There's a lot of good stuff here. Loop Gear make flashlights. They make them very well, and that is very well represented in what they've included here. Now, this is also meant to be a fidget, a game, and it is very fidgety. This is a pretty great size to just hold. Just holding up to the mic. It's very, very satisfying. And back in the proper place. So it does that very well. The design elements of it that allow you to have a display piece are very nice. The animations are pleasing and amusing, and they last a decently long amount of time. And the accessories that come with it is very high quality. This is boxed separately. I think it does come with it. This is effectively a clip housing that allows you to clip this onto things. The lanyard itself has like a very high quality suede feel, even though I'm pretty sure it's a synthetic material. The plastic is very high quality soft touch material. It's overall just very well made. Now, as for the downsides of this, it's hard to use, right? Grabbing onto something this small to use as a flashlight without obscuring the beam isn't the easiest of things. The UI, whilst in flashlight mode, is actually very straightforward and intuitive. The fact that there is a flashlight mode is confusing. Switching between the different modes, remembering what the different icons mean, it's a steep learning curve. It is something that you need to really play about with, read on, and invest the time and effort to get a hang of, and that you could potentially forget if you don't handle this for a while. I don't like the fact that this is on its own kind of helpless, right? You could put this in a pocket, or a pouch. That's a thing you could do, but you can't really use this on its own. It's rounded. It doesn't stand up. It will kind of go on its side, but what's happening there is it's actually resting on the bezel like a kickstand, which one means that if it goes this way, it can fall over, but it also means that the beam is pointing down. It will go very nicely on its flat back, but that's it. If you want to use it, then you really need this accessory, and I am confused by this. So this is included, I believe, but it is boxed separately entirely, and I partially think that might be because of the unboxing experience, or maybe its nature as a Kickstarter. It was originally a stretch goal. I'm not entirely sure. When you have this, you can clip it to things. You can make use of it normally as you would any other clip light, and it does have a magnet in the clip, so you can stick it to things that way. It also has a nice lanyard so that you can, not drop and scuff up and scratch up your very nice thing. It also makes it easier with the general chunk and bulk of it to use. So you can use this as a flashlight. It also is a little frustrating that it has these display modes, but no way to actually stand in a visually pleasing way. This is effectively lay flat. But if you have this on your desk, say you're working or something, or you just have it on your nightstand where you keep your EDC stuff, you might want it, to be like this so that it's actually pointing outwards and not just at the ceiling, and it doesn't do that. It also doesn't do that in the accessory, and I kind of feel that if it's meant to be a display piece where you have these animations going, but it's also meant to be a flashlight, I think it would have greatly benefited from effectively a dock, right? A little charging dock. It can be USB-C, that little USB-C dock you just slot onto. That would keep it charged and offer you, or even act as a pass-through, so it's not affecting the battery, but keep it upright so you can see it. But the main thing about this is, if you want a clip style flashlight, don't buy this, right? If you want a clip style flashlight, there are other ones. I highly recommend the O-Clip. The O-Clip Pro is probably closer to this in feature set because of the multiple emitters, but in terms of size, the original O-Clip, and of course there are other similar things from other brands. If you want a small clip light, buy one of those. It's going to be cheaper. It's going to be better at its job. This is a toy. It can be used as a flashlight. The quality of the light it emits is very good. But it's a toy, right? This is something for you to fidget with. This is something for you to take pretty pictures with and put on your Instagram with your other EDC stuff. That's okay. It's okay that nice objects exist to fulfill those purposes. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. And if that is something that interests you, like if you look at this and just like, oh yeah, that looks really fun to play with, I can like kill some time by playing with stupid little analog games that, whilst technically a screen, isn't me doom scrolling, that's great. Then maybe you might be interested in this. If you are an EDC enthusiast, more so than just caring about the tools you carry, but you're into that Instagram life, making pictures, loadouts, the aesthetic part of things, then this might be for you. But this is overall not a tool first. This is a toy first, a gadget first. And that's okay, but you do need to know what you're getting into. Because at the end of the day, this is about $40, $45. It's more expensive than the tool versions of it. And I know I'm showing the O-Clip. There are other brands that are actually cheaper, and Olight does sales regularly to bring it down further. It's not a cheap thing to get if you're looking for a flashlight and you don't get the flashlight that you want. But it's not a crazy price if you're looking for an Instagram worthy EDC fidget. We all know how crazy the fidget market can get, upwards of $100 for a chunk of metal that clicks. Sometimes a hell of a lot more than that. So the fact that you're getting a fidget that's also got some features in that can pass time, or even, I guess, be useful, and you have a flashlight feature that actually works as a nice quality flashlight, then you'd be in luck. This could be for you. One thing I'll say is that I like that this exists. This is fun. I'm glad that I have this. But seeing this and knowing what Loop Gear are capable of, I would love to see them have an honest, good go at a real O-Clip style competitor. Because this light, this interface, but with a real body meant for EDC, that would be crazy. But that's just what I think. This has been the Loop Gear LoopDot. Let me know what you think of it down in the comments below. If you have one, if you're interested, if you think it's just a little silly, let me know. While you're down there, I would appreciate you like and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video.